Master Z, can you hear me? Okay. Give me a moment to check everything here. And can you still hear me? It's good volume? Okay, wonderful. morning, everyone. I hope my voice is coming through better this time. Is that yes? Okay, wonderful. And I hope your morning has been pleasant. And when you awoke this morning, you greeted the day as though you were going to completely experience this day better than you did yesterday, as though this day is a do-over. You get to do everything that you did yesterday, but you get to really enjoy it today. And the miracle of awakening this morning and getting out of your sleeping arrangement, whatever that may have been, and being able to stand upright and go about your daily activities is a blessing, because there's so many people who did not do that and will not do that again in this lifetime. So just before sitting down, I had a picture of Rinpoche, and sort of abbreviated way to enjoy every day. As we all know now, one of our senior Sangha members, yogi, master practitioner, a master unto himself, left the vehicle of transitoriness, the vehicle of impermanence, and the vehicle or the ferry boat that took him through samsara in this lifetime. I am sure prior to this point there were many lifetimes, and after this one, as we say, there will be many, many more. Obviously the ones that went before were meritorious with blessings and auspiciousness. And from speaking with his family members and having spoken with Thupten on many, many occasions and sat with him, I would like to say that yes, he was blessed and with merit and happiness and circumstances and opportunity where he was able to be a benefit to many sentient beings. When I was with and sat with Thupten, I always felt that I was sitting with a part of India. And maybe you understand when I say that, is that I always felt very much at home with Thupten. And such a kind man and a gentle smile, and always inquiring the concept that even the Buddha said we should do, is challenge the premise of a concept. And he would say to me sometimes, but what about this? And but what about that? And I would say, why so much thinking? By thinking you will never understand this or that. But the moment you stop asking, then maybe the understanding that there is no need to penetrate into what this or that, because that is also intrinsically empty and transitory. So Thupten will not sit on that seat, at least not in our lifetime, perhaps anymore. But I think, as I spoke to one of his family members, his daughter, is that all great teachers and practitioners, I think, leave us with one final teaching and very pertinent message. Life is precious. Life is impermanent. It is transitory. And the death of that life comes to all. Prior to the departure, which was graceful of Thupten, we had several conversations throughout the last month, couple of weeks, about renunciation, bodhicitta, and the recognition intellectually and experientially of emptiness. And we can go into a long-winded and philosophical debate about these things. And what's really important or not important. But of those that watch this movie, which I think of again now, Konama, when the senior nun, the abbot, I believe, when she says, "Now I will know the strength of my practice," and she departs from her body. So we can have all the profound views and intellectualization of the Buddhadharma we want. But when it comes to that final moment, then we will know what really has served us the best. And for me, for my teachers, it is that moment when that breath goes out and one knows it is not coming back, and that it is time to cross to the other side. This is when you will know the strength of your practice. And all the philosophical and intellectualizations and debates of the Buddhadharma, I don't think it's going to be of too much use unless you have actualized them. And it is my belief that Thupten actualized. He knew and had realized much more than he ever revealed. He was hidden yogi. He had studied the ancient texts of his land, the Upanishads, the Vedantas, the Rig Vedas, the Vedas, Bhagavad Gita. He was versed in Sanskrit. Obviously, having been born in India, I would like to think it was infused in his bones. And I think, at least for me, like I said, he exuded that quality in a very gentle and kind and very humble way. May he be, and he was, an example to me. I told him, "You are my inspiration." And perhaps I could say the same, that he inspired you in how he sat upon his seat. Also, always so unassuming and so quiet. But at the same time, very present. Again, there's an early text that I remember coming across. I'm not sure if it was an early translation of the Dhammapada or Shantideva's Bodhicharya. The Light of Asia. Maybe I will look this up and see if I can find a copy. I always forget to translate it. The Light of Asia. So I deem Thupten as the light of India, light of Asia. And a reminder to all of us, is like I said, all great yogis and meditators and teachers, their final teaching is to remind us life is precious, therefore live every day, even in its ups and downs, and however it may sway. Because as Lama, as I said when I was looking and doing my prostrations, oh, there's my teacher. What did he say? You cannot even remember what you did for your last birthday. I asked myself, why can't I remember the most eventful moment in my life? And that was being born and coming into this universe, coming into this life. I've been trying to remember. Maybe it was just too comfortable in the womb. You don't remember anything when you're so comfortable, do you? But he says you can't even remember these events. Even from last week you try to remember. So to think that we're going to have some remembrance of this life and carrying it into our next life, or remember, as I said, from what happened in our past lives. So the only thing that really seems to be accessible to us is this present moment. But if we begin to ponder this present moment, then we lose its potentiality. I think we lose its power of this vibrancy of just, I'm alive. I had an accident in Wisconsin. I fell asleep at the wheel going from Madison back to Spring Green uh, after a class. I'm not sure what I may have done. But anyway, I fell asleep. And in my sleep, I must have been dreaming because I heard the tires on the gravel of the embankment. And in a half eyes open, the car went over the embankment and rolled several times, skid on the top, and stopped just in front of a telephone post. I'm crumpled up. I don't know if I was in the front or the back. The only thing that really saved me, one, is the car didn't hit the telephone post. And two, I must admit, I did not have my seatbelt on. The driver's side, or the passenger side, was crushed. And I'm upside down in the back of the car, and the wheels are going around, and the lights are blinking, and the sounds are going off. And something says, maybe you should get out of the car before it blows up. So somehow I was able to, I don't know if the door opened, the window, and I crawled out on my hands and knees, and I stood up, and I moved my hands, I moved my shoulders, and I moved my neck. The punchline is, I said, I'm alive. I'm alive. And there's more to that story that's really quite comical what happened thereafter. Can you imagine being on a country road in Wisconsin in the middle of the night, happening to be of a certain persuasion, and you have to go and knock on someone's door to ask them for help. And when they look out and you tell them, I just had an accident, but they can't see the car because it's down in the ravine. So it was a funny episode. Maybe I should write about it someday. But it just reminds me once again of all of you that are present this morning. It's precious. And live this day. At first I thought it says sometime, live this day as though tomorrow was not going to come. That may be a little bit depressing. Live this day as a precious do-over. So I got up this morning and think, oh, I'm going to live this day and enjoy it more so than I did yesterday. So really, okay, I enjoy this moment. Oh, I get to sit on my seat. Oh, I get to see all of these wonderful people. Oh, I get to blah, blah, blah and tell stories. Maybe I can make them laugh or smile. Maybe for a moment they can forget their own troubles and trials. Then I feel, hopefully when I put my head upon my pillow at the end of this day, I will go, oh, I'm so glad I went in a way. Basic kindness and loving and compassion, and really, no matter how it's unfolding, is to appreciate, as our master Thupten now has taught us, appreciate this moment, because this moment is not going to come again. It's the most precious moment, don't you think? Then read all on the social media, something Gyaltsen said. Now we're seeing many practitioners, many Tibetan teachers giving teachings and this and that. But I go back to what the Rinpoche said. My view is as high as the flight of a vulture, but my actions were as fine as flower. Which means, even though we understand the illusionary quality and the contradictory aspects of the Buddhadharma, that doesn't mean that one doesn't engage in a practice that brings about direct experience. Because when our time of departure comes, there will be no dallying about. Yama will open his arms with his entourage and say, I welcome you. No, I'm not ready. So sorry. Your time is spent. You must come and be with me, as you so frivolously went. You forgot that I was here waiting all along. I am your friend. I will hold your hand. Please come with me. Come along. And then I would hope we could pay. Then you can say, Yama, you have no power here. You are just an illusion. Stop whispering in my ear. I have prepared for you all my life, as I will do for the next one, and hopefully I will renounce strife. Yama sadden and go, oh, how did you know? I am just an illusion. I'm just a ghost. I'm really no more. I hope I can face death like this. I think now every day, impermanence in death, impermanence in death. But Lama Kazi would say, it's not a morbid affair. Where there's life, there's death. And what comes into being will pass away. It is the nature of things. It is the nature of the multiverse. It is the nature of the cosmos, of the universe. What comes into being will pass away. But in a relative sense, I think I wrote, consciousness, patterns of energetic particles manifesting in space, coalescing by the blessings and grace. Coming and going, they disperse and reassemble. Today, they may be called who knows what. I saw a small bug crawling. Oh, there go me. There go my mother. My next life, who knows, some other. So, again, very practical, be practical, and approach every day with a certain joyousness, even in our worry, our sadness, etc. Still, joyous. Oh, I must digress for a moment. Speaking of joyous, this now, Papi, Laura is new baby, new being. Then I thought, being coming into the world and a being leaving the world. So Laura is the daughter now of Diogo and Maria. Their small baby looked like little Toko. I swear, this looks like Chinese, look like a Tibetan. And such a beautiful, such a kind face, right? Then, if it's okay with Diogo, maybe I send picture to Lama, and then he can show you. It's okay, I hope, so they can see the beauty and the preciousness of life. How we all started. But then we can also see the beauty and the preciousness of life when we depart. So just to keep things in mind, again, Lama Kazi would say to us, enjoy this life because it's so fleeting. They use an analogy. It is like the water going over the fall, rushes down, all the way down, and then it's gone. So we're like at Niagara Falls, and we're heading toward the precipice, which definitely will come. Free fall, and enjoy the ride as we go. We cannot stop. We are headed on that path. It is ours to go, no more. So even though we practice, sometimes people think, oh, practicing Buddhism, go sit in your cave, go sit in the hut. All those things are done, but it's the attitude and the perception and perspective of which it is done. In retreat, out of retreat. But the main retreat is always within. Why go into retreat? And many retreatants will tell you they're sitting in retreat and they're wondering, what will I have for dinner? What will I have for breakfast? Is someone going to come and visit me today? Right. When is my retreat going? And they're on, and there's no retreat. Obviously, I know these things very well. And that's why you have to spend a certain time so you finally really can be in retreat and understand, whether in seclusion or not, the real retreat lies within. So again, Lama Kazi was very much an innovator and ahead of his time. Focus on the present. Recognize this precious life. Live every moment, one, as though you get to do it over from yesterday, or as though the day will come no more, which it will not. There's no guarantee that any of us will see tomorrow. Again, Lama Kaiser would say, look left, look right. At some point, one of you will not be here. But don't forget to look directly at yourself. So there's three: the past, the present, and the future. So at some point, our demise and graceful exit will be assured. I guess there's a certain comfort in that, perhaps. The torch of uncertainty. Maybe you have this text. The uncertainty. What are the uncertainties? There are three uncertainties and one certainty. The uncertainty of the time of our departure, death. The uncertainty of that. The uncertainty of the place. The uncertainty of the manner. But the certainty that it will occur. And the uncertainty that plagues us, I think, at a deep, pervasive level. We don't know when or why or how. The praise from the Buddha. We think we have all the time in the world, but we don't. Maybe this is real ignorance, as I'm talking to myself. Our time is fleeting, our time is precious, and perhaps, even though we may think it is not, our time is measured. So as we look at the measure of our time, however it may be, use every moment of it wisely. So from Thupten, who as we spoke, and connecting to his consciousness, is why perhaps we can all become awakened. We haven't had too many, well, there's been several deaths outside of the immediate Sangha, but eventually it comes home. I think, doesn't it become more profound when you look at a seat and go, that person no longer will be around? And in looking to see that, you must say to oneself, surely my turn will come. I say like this, even when we were doing the practice for Thupten, I look at that seat, easily change. Someday my seat will be empty too. That's just the way it is. But hopefully they or you will say, perhaps he was a little bit funny, he was a little bit mad. We don't know if he was insane or just glad. But he tried to sit upon his seat, and maybe it didn't make any sense at all. But every now and again, he would say something, and we would smile and be uplifted and know we would not fall. I heard his daughter say she will keep the legacy of her father, and she will continue to promote loving kindness and compassion, to be joyous and caring and giving for the benefit of all sentient beings. And she said her father read to her and spoke to her from the Upanishads, from the Vedanta, from the Vedas, from the Rig Veda. And that's why I would always call him Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya, the one who is the essence of all, Brahma. But also Buddha, Thupten, the wise one that knows the way of the Buddha. He had studied the Bhagavad Gita, all of these ancient texts which the Buddha had studied. He grew up in this climate, and I think in a very subtle way radiated it, imparted it. If I had some specific question about a Sanskrit word, who can I call? Oh, call Thupten, and then we would have some conversation. about how it's used in the context of that culture, which I feel very much a part of, and without you knowing, or maybe you do, you'll also. It is not by accident that you have come to the Buddhadharma. It is only a result of your past merit and the blessing and practice. And therefore, again going back to Lama, it is also the causality of the resultants to come. That which we have done can be measured by which we are doing. And that which we will do can be measured by which we are doing. So therefore, we focus on the doing of the present. So in this present doing, contemplate the preciousness of the human birth, of the human life. Contemplate impermanence and death. Contemplate karma, the law of cause and effect. Contemplate the nature of samsara. So again, reading from one of my other early teachers, Geshe Wangyal, the three things that we must engage in if we're going to progress. First, renunciation. Even this morning, I renounce my attachment to samsara. I renounce my attachment to samsara. What I'm saying is I renounce my attachment to that which I do that causes suffering to myself and others. This is samsara. Then the second one he said is the development of bodhicitta. Why have we gathered this morning? To be a benefit to all sentient beings. Something again that his daughter said, I will practice. My father was very much concerned with climate change. He's a scientist, a real professor. She said, maybe I can do something that will help in climate change and disease and the fires and the flood that can truly be a benefit to others. I think the same way. Geshe Wangyal again said in bodhicitta, to engage in practice to fully realize for the benefit of all sentient beings. So, renunciation, bodhicitta. And then the third one, Geshe Wangyal says, is to have an intellectual, experiential understanding of the intrinsic nature of all phenomena, emptiness. But just to say one understands emptiness, we also have to understand relativeness, because the two go hand in hand. We are still existing in a relative dimensionality, and therefore it unfolds according to its laws and dynamics. But at the core of what is unfolding and those dynamics is this quality of intrinsic emptiness. But that does not negate its relativeness. So again, Namakazi says this walking on the razor's edge. I'm still pondering when he said that the laws of the relative aspect do not necessarily carry over and pertain in the nature of emptiness. Perhaps because there is only emptiness. But to go around and reporting, oh, everything is empty, nothing matters because everything is empty, that's when Talopa smacks Talopa, hits Naropa on the head with a shoe. Wake up! Oh, stay. Now you understand. Present moment wakefulness. Again, Namakazi Rinpoche would say, present moment wakefulness. So maybe to conclude, so I don't keep going on and on, awaken in this very moment. What could be more poignant and more dynamic in jolting us to come alive is the death within our own family. Someone who comes and teaches, hey guys, wake up, this is real. This is going to happen. See, as I take the journey, so will you. But before you do, practice, renounce, develop bodhicitta, recognize the intrinsic nature of one's own mind, and maybe most of all, every day, laugh at the absurdity and smile. Take a breath in, breathing out. Rest for a moment. Don't control your breath. Just be aware of, as I was talking to someone, people last night, to be mindful of breathing in and to be mindful of breathing out. To be aware of breathing in and to be aware of breathing out. Do this for a few moments. Again, gently breathing out through your mouth. Focusing and being aware of the channels, the red, or the white, red, blue. But when you breathe in now, again, as though you're hooking the breath, the blue energy of space, you breathe in as it flows in and up and all the way down to the juncture below the navel. And then let your mind awareness lead it back up and back out into space. Imagine you're breathing from 1 cubit out. From 1 cubit out, you're drawing the breath in. And then when it flows back out, it goes back out 1 cubit and disperses into space. Practice that for a few moments. Just breathing out and rest for a moment. In this last one, so I use and think of this as preparing the field and setting the space. Again, breathe in through the outer channels, draw in, fill up the lower abdominal area below the navel, and then hold that breath just for a moment. Hold it momentarily. And then as you breathe out, let it flow. No, let it fill your body and exude out from pores of the skin like rays of light. So you're drawing in, filling up, and then breathing out, We'll add one more. Breathe in all the way down to the junction. When you breathe out, imagine it comes up the citric channel to the heart chakra. And from the heart chakra to those nadis, then it goes out through the nadis and out into space, like that. Practice that for a few moments. Once again, gently breathing out. Let the eyes come to the horizontal plane, space between the thumbs. Breathe gently in and out, uncontrived through your mouth. Tongue is down. And in the awareness, the direct experience, how is my body? How is my breath and speech? How is my mind? Lama Rinpoche would say, where is this mind? Rest. As a precursor to entering into practice, I try to sit down and do each one of those, sometimes a little more elaborate, 7 times. And again, I'm hoping that as a result of doing this simple practice, that one feels a little bit more settled, more spacious, calm, a sense of light, lightness and lightfulness. Perhaps it's like that. If nothing more, it gives us a focal point to let go of our everyday, mundane thinking. Take the breath in, please. So this day we'll do the practice of Guru Rinpoche. Guru Rinpoche Day, I believe, is Tuesday, maybe tomorrow, I'm not sure. But we'll do the modified practice of Lama Kazi, the modified Rinpoche. And we dedicate the merit of this practice to Thupten. May he have a safe journey, as I said to Lama, and a safe return. May whatever obstacles, impediments, etc., may they be liberated so his journey will be easy and instantaneously. That more than likely, as we spoke of, he has already recognized the clear light, dawning of the clear light of one's own consciousness that occurs at the moment that we leave the bardos of life and we enter into the bardos of death. From the bardos of death, then to the bardos of becoming, and enter into the bardos of living. Hopefully we can awaken from the bardos of dreaming. And even in the moment of the bardos of death, we dream all type of fantasal things or demonic things. But as I said earlier, when we say Tiyama, You are just an illusion, nothing more than a fabrication of my own mind, my own ignorance and desire and anger. I see you for who you are, the same way the Buddha did to Mara. We are not different, we are one and the same. How can you harm me? I understand your name. Practice this way. Take a breath in, breathing out, and as you breathe out, visualize above your head Guru Rinpoche. Visualize our teacher, Guru Rinpoche. Then you can easily say, most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind, so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. Most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind, so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. Most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind, so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. So from the Tibetan Book of the Dead, before you make refuge prayer, there's what's referred to as the outer refuge, the inner refuge, the secret refuge, and we could probably say the innermost secret refuge. But just to read from the outer refuge, I bow down and take refuge in the spiritual teachers, whose enlightened intentions throughout the past, present, and future is uninterruptedly directed toward living beings. The infinite sentient beings of the 3 world systems and 6 classes. I bow down and take refuge in the perfect Buddhas, the transcendent ones gone to bliss of the 10 directions and 4 times. Foremost of humankind, adorned by the major and minor marks, whose enlightened activities are inexhaustible and as vast as space. I bow down to and take refuge in the sacred teachings, including the doctrines of the ultimate truth, quintessent and desireless, the irreversible path of the 3 vehicles, Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana, and the transmissions, esoteric instructions, and treatises of the transmuted precepts and treasures. I bow down to and take refuge in the community of practitioners, monks, nuns, yogis, etc., who abide on the unerring path, forming a field of all supreme merits, together with the assembly of sublime ones, set apart from the stains of dissonant mental states, and the supreme upholders of the teachings, bodhisattvas, attendants, hermits, Buddhas, and the like. Yo idea new to go some Buddha Junedo and Initiala Kupasho. Namo Lama Lagab Zujo, Senga Lagab Zujo, Lagab Zujo, Lagab Zujo. Visit Lama Lagab Zujo, Senga Lagab Zujo, Lagab Zujo, Lama Lagab Zujo, Senga Lagab Zujo, Lagab Zujo, Lama Lagab Zujo, Senga Lagab Zujo. Lama Lagab Zujo, Senga Lagab Zujo, Lagab Zujo, Lagab Zujo, Lama Lagab Zujo, Senga Lagab Zujo, Lagab Zujo, Lama Lagab Zujo, Senga Lagab Zujo. Lama Lagab Zujo, Senga Lagab Zujo, Lagab Zujo, Lagab Zujo, Lama Lagab Zujo, Senga Lagab Zujo, Lama Lagab Zujo, Senga Lagab Zujo, Lagab Zujo, Lagab Zujo, Lama Lagab Zujo, Senga Lagab Zujo, Lagab Zujo, Lama Lagab Zujo, Lama Lagab Zujo, Senga Lagab Zujo, Lagab Zujo, Lama Bhaga Dojo, Zenga Bhaga Dojo, Bhaga Dojo, Lama Dojo, Lama Dojo. Lama Bhaga Dojo, Zenga Bhaga Dojo, Bhaga Dojo, Lama Dojo, Lama Bhaga Dojo, Zenga Bhaga Dojo, Bhaga Dojo. Lama Bhaga Dojo, Zenga Bhaga Dojo, Bhaga Dojo, Lama Dojo, Lama Bhaga Dojo, Zenga Bhaga Dojo, Bhaga Dojo, Lama Dojo. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to liberate them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to transcend them. Dormant gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. What is enlightened way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Sentient beings are infinite. I vow to liberate them. Our delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to transcend them. Dharma gates are boundless, I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable, I vow to embody it. Sentient beings are numberless, I vow to liberate them. Delusions are inexhaustible, I vow to transcend them. Dharma gates are boundless, I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable, I vow to embody it. Then we think for ourselves and for the deceased, Thupten, the Bodhisattvas gather, bless, liberate, and guide. Jambe Galbor Hidra Dam Dambar Wunda Rumba Daje Tabaje Dubu Taba Zabra Badani Zenje Jande Largo Dabeba Geje Zuba Zura Badate Zendube Daje Perde Wa Dewa Zuba Gela Zazalo Jamba Jundur Baden Doje Jen Zenre Zimban Bumbo Jambeba Zayi Nimbo Jumba Namba Za Namba Nimbo Bajo Nundo Urba Doji Baga Nundo Numbo Rabla Dile Namayi Daze Nana Daze Kaze Jo Chandro Samba Gila Tazalo Renchen Toju Daze Toye Nga Judo Sambo Dambo Damala Nindan Dandan Bundam Bareru Minu Tanze Mundu Renje doje geje jaje junje jowa gela junje ma junje jowa junbe belwe taje namma gela tajalo samba jumbo junje tembe bu medo dunda gambo junjo barge punda wanda mejo na nando jeje gula dan doje nanda doje barya doje ganjo Zazu Niji Gila Doje Be Jinden Jowa Gula Jazalo Zazu Jinde Jowa Zungula Jinde Jowa Zamba Zunjone Dundun Baba Jindun Jeje Du Daji Dele Bundu Zumbaju Zazu Jinde Jowa Zungula Jinde Jowa Zamba Zunjone Dundun Baba Jindun Jeje Du Daji Dele Bundu Zumbaju Ado jende jowa lugola, yune jowa lugola, dundun berbe dundun yeje do, daje ele bundu jo, kasho. Le jonam jele gele jonde zungola gumbo ganyeba, jenjo jembo jege jondo wada da zambayi, sange dodange donla, jenjo nibo jege ba. Taba dade gazoji, zura mende danje, sombe jenge jondo da, zage jondo nege, sombe jenge jange do, jeze nanga namba da, dowa jeze nego ba, jeze doje nego ne, towa derga sa wa so. Jonam jele gele jon, jejo jeze jeze so, gula gombo ganya ba. Junjo Jembo Jige Son, Dowa Dada Zambayi, Sange Dodangi Donda, Junjo Nibo Jige Bada Bada Ne All phenomena arise from their causes. Their causes are explained by the Buddha. Cessation of these causes too are taught thus by the great sage. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach, recognize full enlightenment. Enthused by wisdom and compassion the day in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind for full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain, and dispel the misery, suffering, causality of ignorance, desire, and anger in this world through loving kindness and compassion. Zage zhanje zage runzun zage bunzu dongye zunzun ba zage runbo jiwa chepi zage gabo chula tsatsa bo Dayata umune mune mahamune yesowa 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 Usumune mune mahamune yesowa mune mune mahamune yesowa So we have visualized that the Buddha is directly in front of Thupten, directly in front of us, directly in front of all sentient beings, bestowing the blessings of the body, the speech, mind, and knowledge and wisdom, liberating from obstacles, hindrance, defilements, negative karmic action, and disease of the mind, and karma of past, present, future. Then, as though in concordance or in chorus with the Buddhists, as though we were sitting in one of the famous groves with many other disciples, and we practiced to amend for the deceased who was right in the front of us, and all the other sentient beings, by giving out all of our good qualities in the form of light, and taking in all of the negative qualities in the form of like a bluish black smoke, which flows into the lotus, the moon disc, and the eye. And we practice for a little bit. Our mind's eye, the intentions of our motivation has occurred. As we breathe out, separating the thumbs, eyes on the horizontal plane, breathing in and out through our mouth, again, like water into water. The analogy of water into water is to tell us that the essence of our own mind and the essence of the Buddha's mind is like the mingling of water. Sameness, oneness, rest. plant the seed is important, whether one fully has arrived or not. Like the planting of a seed in the ground, it doesn't sprout straight away, but it is there, isn't it? So therefore, we emerge in the awakened state. So one breathes out, oh, in the awakened state. You are the Bodhisattva. You are the awakened ones. Mama yeje get the Jowa, the Jowa show. The Bartonian Mijata, Jowa Ponzo, Zumba, Job, and Sunday Gonzo. The Nation get them by Goa to Saki, Galpo, to Ne, Toma, Nuno, Tanupa. The Nation by Dupa show. Gyaltsen Joji Goju Nebema June Zasudra Gudu Gando Mampu Gurgege Sasu Tadugi Junje Laje Sasu Guru Pema Siddhi Om Urgyen Yuji Nanzan Bema Girza Donpula Gyaltsen Joji Goju Nebema June Zasudra Gudu Gando Mampu Gurgege Sasu Tadugi Junje Laje Sasu Guru Pema Siddhi Om Urgyen Yuji Nanzan Bema Girza Donpula Gyaltsen Joji Goju Nebema June Zasudra Gudu Gando Mampu Gurgege Sasu Tadugi Junje Laje Sasu Guru Pema Siddhi Imao Jojo Gyaltsen Samten Naga Sendu Dorje Dorje Lama Juge Gula Suvade Urgyen Samten La Suvade Dejen Urgyen Samten Kunjon Yondan Yoden Jende Jeje Yoden Jowa Jebegu Doji Chitra Neso Zozor Lama Dojo Gula Suvade Urgyen Samten La Suvade Meje Dende Dembe Samsu Doji Jengo Jowe Donajan Lala Gende Darge Dondu Te Dama Jo Dado Donzoge Nama Trube Gula Suvade Urgyen Samten Suvade Kundon Dozam Gera Jirajan Bema Gera Nina Zuzoga Zuzo Nandro Dundanga Zozo Kata Lama Nala Suvade Zunde Zembe Tudro Dune Dan Doje Dondo Dumbe Doriafia Nandro Dumbe Dumbe Tuzuge Gode Gode Zobe Nandemba Reme Uzu Shella Suvade Jeje Guje Dola Tusudu Reme Uzu Gendro Tuzuzu Uza Nunje Nange Najola Jeme Dumbe Shella Suvade Uzu Nunge Pema Jinege Jojo Dubo Uzo Uzo Sange Nange Gendu Pechonshon Uzo Zembe La Suvade Urmen Jogi Nge Bodana Uzo Sange Guje Gurunge Benzen Gugu Uzo Tunzebe Zobe Lama Namla Suvade Riromen Jogi Yogi Bodana Uzo Sange Guje Gurunge Ranzem Gugu Guzo Tunzeba Zobe Lame Sela Suvade Yowa Gundu Yundan Lama Dan Drume Jogi Bala Lujo Jen Sada Nanje Ranjo Nezone Doji Jenji Go Fando Tu So Zuma Uma Breath, visualize subtle chakras and the nadis. The visualization of the Dorje, the ring of fire, and the home in the middle of that Dorje. The air passes through the ring of fire. So you have blessed the body, blessed the speech, blessed the mind, cleansed and purified. And now you have the power to bless objects, deeds, self, others. Bhadra Samaya Za Za Om Bhamo Om Ritsa Ramani Bhavada Yesoha. Bhadra Samaya Za Za Om Bhamo Om Bhadra Amrita Kundale Hana Hana Om Pe. To invite, to invoke, to summon the Guru Rinpoche and entourage Lokshin. Ranje Nine Onle Uso Tobe Lama Dan Dezo Be Gunjin Doge Gabo Hajun Dutse Gario Medzawa Mebe Goba Don Dinanga Baza Samaya. They appear in front. Sangye Dodan Zoki Jo Namla Chanjo Madu Dadi Kapsuji Daji Junso Ge Peso Nangi Joda Benze Zenge Jobasha. Sangye Dodan Zoge Jo Namba, Junso Badu Dani Kapsuji. Daji Junso Ge Peso Nangi Joda Benze Zenge Jobasha. Sangye Dodan Zoge Jo Namba, Junso Badu Dani Kapsuji. Daji Junso Ge Peso Nangi Joda Benze Zenge Jobasha. Zeza Om Bamo Zoje Naranga Temba Du. White Puma Om Bada Mahasi Hara Gorma Dene Doji Torwa Guru Zeze Ram Yam Ram Om Sarva Suto Sarva Dharma Sute Suto No Zambe Neme Neme Rembo Je Nini Zengeje We Nando Dorwa Doro Duro Dombo Gonzo Sopa Dajen Gazo Jembo Do Desoma Oma Om Lume Pate Sapa Vido Rar Ba Satsamaza Sata Na Pate Je Tepada Na Cha Namo Salvata Tagata Pai Mishu Mugube Salvata Tokete Sapa Rana Menegam Soha. Namo Salvata Tagata Pai Mishu Mugube Salvata Mugute Sapa Rana Menegam Soha. Namo Salvata Tagata Pai Mishu Mugube Salvata Tokete Sapa Rana Menegam Soha. Nada Nade Lado Do 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 Then to all of the instructors, may they be pacified and liberated. Sombaja Mahasri Haragarma, Dene Doji Turva Guru, Ram Yam Ham Sarva Suto Sarva Dame Sude Sudoro Tume Dende Rundo Jeni Jeni Jove Nando Dorma Karu Doro Dumbo Punso Sombo Danjan Gato Shengo Oma Oma Sarabuturaga Sarata Sarabuturaga Sarata Sarabuturaga Sarata Savanine Nomo Zavarata Gataba Yumishimugu Sabatukete Saparana Iram Granagam Granam Barinda Yesuha Savanine Nomo Zavadata Gataba Yumishimugu Savarata Mogate Saparana Iram Granam Gurina Iram Barinda Yesuha Savanine Nomo Zavadata Gataba Yumishimugu Savarata Mogate Saparana Iram Granam Granam Barinda Yesuha. Then to establish the boundary. So the Vajra tent we want to set in place. To cleanse and purify. Badru Zata Samaya Manovalaya Badru Zata Deno Badu Mevoa, Sudogaya Mevoa, Subogaya Mevoa, Amaratu Mevoa, Sobaziri Mebrea Dozara Lamazutame, Zetsum Serum Guru, Hao, Sada Badru Mani Buzovan Zebavana Samaya Sadua, Badru Zata Samaya, Badru Zata Deno Badu Mevoa. Subogaya Mevoa, Subogaya Mevoa, Anaradu Mevoa, Zavaziri Mebrea Dozara Lamazutame, Setum Serum Guru Hum Ho Bhagavan Savadata Gata Badru Menemuzo, Samaya Satua Badru Zatu Samaya Manovalaya Badru Zatu Denova Tizu Mevoa Subogaya Mevoa Subogaya Anaradu Mevoa, Zavaziri Mebrea Dozara Lamazutame, Setum Serum Guru Sada Dada Gada Badru Menemuzo Benzebovana Samaya Satua Badru Zatu Samaya Manovalaya Badru Zatu Subogaya Mevoa, Subogaya Mevoa, Anaradu Mevoa, Zavaziri Mebrea Setum Serum Guru Samaya Satua Badru Zatu Samaya Mevoa, Subogaya Mevoa, Subogaya Mevoa, Anaradu Mevoa, Setum Serum Guru Bhagavan Savadata Satua Badru Zatu Samaya Manovalaya Subogaya Mevoa, Anaradu Mevoa, Savaziri Mebrea Dozara Lamazutame, Setum Serum Guru Sada Dada Gata Badru Menemuzo Benzebovana Badru Zatu Samaya Manovalaya Badru Zatu Anaradu Mevoa, Savaziri Mebrea Dozara Lamazutame, Setum Serum Guru Samaya Satu Badru Menemuzo Samaya Manovalaya Subogaya Mevoa, Anaradu Mevoa, Setum Serum Guru Bhagavan Savadata Badru Menemuzo Badru Zatu Denova Tizu Mevoa, Subogaya Mevoa, Subogaya Mevoa, Setum Serum Guru Bhagavan Idam Rana Mandra Gamera Daya Meza Jepoje Georgia Mizodra Rubalin Zene de Zabaye Zengez and the Middle of the Mountains and Advajo Idam Rana Mandra Gamera Daya Saje Poje Georgia Mizodra Rubalin Zene de Zabaye Zengez and the Middle of the Dorje and the Zendaju Idam Rana Mandra Gamera Daya Zomba Druzada Zamaya Manobaya Druzada Denova Dedu Mebova Sudogaya Mebova Zubogaya Mebova Narada Mebova Salazide Mebreya Zaragama Zudum Zidum Zidum Guru Bhagavan Sada Gada Badruman Muzavana Samaya Sadua Badruzada Zamaya Manova Amarado Magova, Lola Lady Megria, the Zaragama, Bhagavan, Sava, Gada Badruman, and Muzavan, Baba Ma, Samaya, in the short Rupa, starting with 7-line prayer. Urgyen Samten Ling Gonpa Gyaltsen Joji Gudu Nebe Maju Neza Sudra Gudur Gando Mabu Gurge Gita Sudarugi Jinji Laje Susu Guru Bema Sili Urgyen Samten Ling Gonpa Gyaltsen Joji Gudu Nebe Maju Neza Sudra Gudur Gando Mambu Gurge Gita Sudarugi Jinji Laje Susu Guru Bema Sili Urgyen Samten Ling Gonpa Gyaltsen Joji Gudu Nebe Maju Neza Sudra Gudur Gando Mambu Gurge Gita Sudarugi Jinji Laje Susu Guru Bema Sili Zoma Bhaja Guru Padma Thupten Bhadra Samaya Zaza. The assemblage of Buddhadharma, then Sri Madhura Lama Dorje Deje Lama Dorje Badon Madru Lama Dorje Guzon Dorje Chana Zowade Urgyen Rinpoche La Zowade Maljen Baje Nejonshen Urgyen Samten Ling Gonpa Nudu So Ati Pru Prati Saho. Deity sits down. Lotus, sun, moon, Dorje, Om. Counterclockwise, Om Bhadra Guru Bhema Siddhi Om. Clockwise, Om Bhadra Guru. Multicolored rays like rainbow light going, filling your body and radiating out in the 10 directions. Predominantly blessing, guiding, and liberating the deceased, Thupten, but all sentient beings, all phenomena. The light goes out first as an offering to all of the Tathagatas, of all the enlightened ones. Then it comes back, and then the light goes out again to bless, of offering, and then blessing and liberating. And the third time it goes out, it's gathering the essence of all of the enlightened qualities, all the knowledge, all the wisdom of all of the enlightened beings throughout the totality of the cosmos. And so there's this constant energy radiating light out, absorbing back in. Then, having sat down as the deity, having the markings of Om, So, maybe a little bit more elaborate, but not too much. So we meet now many Guru Rinpoches, many Chenrezis, many Vajrakalayas, many Mahakalas. There's so much suffering, so much strife, so much disturbance in this Kali Yuga. You must be the ones that bring the light forth in the same way Thupten was one of those bodhisattvas. So the bodhisattvas now must come forth in abundance. Om Bhadra Bharga Bhada Dupe Aloke Gande Devade Shabda Ruta Shabda Gande Rasha Devaje Dharma Data Putsa Ho Zuma Om Bhadra Guru Brahma Tedeo Om Bhadra Guru Brahma Tedeo Om Bhaja Guru Brahma Sete 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 Suma Hum Bado Guru Mama Zari Om Hum Bado Mama Zari Om Hum Bado Suma Hum Bado Guru Mama Zari Om Mama Zari Suma Hum Bado Mama Zari Om Mama Zari Suma Hum Bado Guru Mama Zari Om Mama Zari Om Bado Guru Mama Zari Om And you should visualize that this brilliant rainbow multicolored light is going, as it says, through the 3 times, past, present, and future, formless realms, and going out to the 6 realms of samsara. So as you, and the text says, vivid motivation, vivid intention, then vivid visualization, vivid recitation, vivid meditation, vivid dedication. So as you're reciting, maybe every now and again reestablish your visualization, and then rest your mind, like fish jumping out of the water. But then you, as you're going, let that sound reverberate. The sound has a engram of the essence of the enlightened quality, and you should feel as though your bones are vibrating, like when you hear some loud music or like a chalk on the you feel that sound, and it's opening that center. To activate the center is to activate the upper two and the lower two. So you can maybe use your imagination more stronger. We now live in you see many movies, superheroes. I always thought my superhero was Guru Rinpoche. So like Superman, we could go into the phone booth of our meditation cell and we change into superhero, Guru Rinpoche, to be a benefit to all sentient beings. So aren't all superheroes? They are there to be a benefit to sentient beings. So Guru Rinpoche, one of the first superheroes. So now you are superhero, Bodhisattva, and you have a shield like Captain America. But what is our shield? Loving kindness and compassion. Joyousness, equanimity, and knowledge and wisdom. And our dedication and commitment and vow to practice for the benefit of all sentient beings, no matter what. Even if our situations are dire, we still are Bodhisattva. Even if we don't have any business, Mr. Sakya, no business, then you still Bodhisattva, right? Even we get COVID, we get the variant, we still Bodhisattva. We have a cancer, you have some terminal, still Bodhisattva. Last breath, and then enter into Tarikpa, recognize the clear night dawning, and have an auspicious rebirth from your enlightened state of choice. You're still with Nidhi, you're Guru Rinpoche. And who is it that made the oath with Guru Rinpoche? He subdued and subjugated and tamed the obstructors, and thus they took the pledge to be the oath-bound protectors. So first we recognize the Guru, Namo Guru Be, Namo Guru Be, Namo Guru Be. Then we have to summon them. Se Deva Dani Damse Ge Dado Nondo Den Den Na. Then we take a wrathful form, Ayagriva. We become wrathful manifestation. Om Sri Benza Haraka Ruli Ruli Jo De Dhamne Paljen Jane Ranjan Ganjo Be Dorje Ne Jonse Jodro Damze Ye Ye Ne Me Tizre Nipse Namge Joge Guru Nuse Then visualize seated Chenrezi guiding or Drupna Rando, maybe Drupna Rando holding Rapten by the hand. Come with me. Let's go hang out with my other emanation, Namitaba. There we can sit and be free. No worry. Please come with me. Vajra Sama Yachen Rezi Za. Omani Beme Hungry, Omani Beme Hungry, Omani Beme Hungry. Zumani Beme Hungry, Omani Beme Hungry, Omani Beme Hungry. Zumani Beme Hungry, Omani 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 Zomane Beme Hungry, Omani Beme Hungry, Omani Beme Hungry, Omani Beme Hungry, Omani Beme Hungry, Zomane Beme Hungry, Omani Beme Hungry, Omani Beme Hungry, Zomane Beme Hungry, Omani Beme Hungry, Omani Beme Hungry, Omani Beme Hungry, Beme Hungry, Omani Beme Hungry, Omani Beme Hungry, Omani Beme Hungry, Omani Beme Hungry. So we say to the deceased to let them fly from this place like the seeds thrown down to the bird. Have no attachment to loved ones, to material, to body, anything. Just go. You're free. Recognize your clear light of your own intrinsic mind. And for a time, however long you may choose, be with the enlightened ones. And the Shira Heaven, Zandabari, Dawachen. And at the appropriate time, when you see your future mother, father in union, then your consciousness will enter and the next life will begin. Yo idea do we may have to go 10 minutes over just a little bit, please. Oh, oh, oh. Hey, hey, hey. Ah, ah, ah. In the union of primordial presence, or primordial ground and spontaneous presence in unity together, manifesting as loving kindness and compassion. We mingle our mind with that of Raptan's mind, the all-pervasive quality of his consciousness, which is no longer bound by the limitations of this physical temporary structure. The two become one and we rest. thoughts may be arising, nothing more than clouds in the sky. Do not focus on the clouds, and do not make an object of the sky. Rest. Once again, look toward whatever is arising, dwelling, ceasing. Let go. Breathing out. Urgyen Lama Dorje ne Dorje ne Nanu Pa Dene Shila Gyo La Second Regan Wagon was and Gazu Paden Dua Malu Dua Ne Tembe Tembo Tenden Gazu Jete Gazu Badu Den Mega Mega Zo Tenjuji Gambo Ganjo Mado Goji Jibi Meje Gazu Badene Lajun Jundo Lajun Lajun So Mundu Jenge Renge Gibu Gibu Gabu Nanjambaji Serpent and Zangus and Donya, and Lamazego, and Doram Gazodin, the Zonam de Joseph, Jabin, and Gurgen, Jebola, Baye, Jebezola, to watch you wash you. Jean Barolo, and Madan Gundos, and Badan, the Gunja, and Lajan, Gilwat, and the Namye Dado Dorje Zenjun Mabe Zendo Zungu Zungu de Bama Dudu Zenjun Maluba Zenjun Jumezola Jemba Paterna Bego Sedon Badan Guyum Yo Wadigi Yo Adan Damushu Zundu Zendu Nenundu Zenge Zola Jobajo Jimbe Bagula Meje Beden Zenge Boze Tenyola Dembe Dundun Jobagi Dimba Yorena Beda Shizo Thupten Zepe Denjilong Jemba Zedru Dembe Nanda Jeme Benzo Medan Meden Baze Deva Zedru Du Zungun Zenguji Junzo Zenjo Rinpoche Mange Banam Gebanam Bame Baye Kune Kundu Beba So Gazo Daye Dungwe Dunduju Goyen Dojo Shembe Je Dojo Nandra Weba Megun Zodu Dumbaranda Dashi Da Deso Taya Tao Gade Gade Beragade Berazungade Barizua Diadongade Gade Beragade Berazungade Barizua Diadongade Berazungade Bodesoha. So again, let go of what is past, let go of what may come, let go of what is happening now. Don't try to figure anything out, and don't try to make anything happen. Then Longchenpa, let go of clinging, fixating, altering, changing, grasping. let be. Rest, relax, right now. Rest. And at the moment of the great departure, remember, rest in the intrinsic enlightened quality that lies within you at this very moment. The refuge you take, you take refuge in the intrinsic Buddha nature. Just let go and recognize the dawning of the clear light. So we're a little bit over, ladies and gentlemen. What time is it? Oh, only 7 minutes. Imagine. Yama, I make a bargain with you. Come on, give me 7 minutes. The Yama says, so sorry. Your time is spent. You have no more tokens. Life tokens. Anyway, have a wonderful day. Relive the day better than you did yesterday. Base your goodness with loving kindness. Do something fun. Laugh at the absurdity of samsara as you row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, merrily. Life is but dream. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, Rinpoche.
Bye-bye, Rinpoche.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank
Rinpoche.
you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye,
Rinpoche.
Rinpoche. Thank you.
See you.
Thank you,
the other side.
Okay. No problem, Rinpoche. I will be
I-
contact